Hello friends, let's continue with our journey. King David, beautiful journey, life journey. I'm going to read from the Zohar, which is the main Kabbalistic text, the Zohar of Pinchas, the portion of Pinchas, it's volume 20, and paragraph 182. It's a quotation actually from Tehillim, Psalms, a biblical book that also relates to King David. We know that King David was also a great poet, but his poetry was basically channeling amazing spiritual lessons and spiritual energy. So Psalms 86, David turns to the Creator and saying, a prayer of David. Incline your ear, God, hear me, for I am poor and needy. So King David relates to himself as poor and needy. The spiritual Kabbalistic understanding of what King David is saying here, it has nothing to do with physical poverty or being kind of a needy individual, but we're talking about the concept of humility, being humble. Now, I'm sure that the concept of being humble is something that people can discuss, for hours. It's a very deep, very profound understanding of life. Sometimes it takes many years of life experience to get to this place of maybe being even a little bit humble for real, yes, not fake humility. So let's read something from the scriptures, actually from the book, the biblical book, Samuel A, chapter 23. And I won't explain that much, I will just share the story. It's chapter 23 and 24. And I think that by understanding what's written here, and even if you go and you do your own reading in the Bible, it will inspire you a lot to this concept of being humble in a real way. And there is tremendous amount of real freedom, sense of freedom, but a real one, as we growing into this place more and more. It's a gradual process, but into this place of humility. So let's continue. As I said, Samuel A, chapter 23. At that time of David's journey, he has a group of people around him. We mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. He had 400, but then it grew to 600 being with David. And he hears the rumor. At that time of his journey is close to a city in the southwest of Israel, Keilah, a city, a town, and the people of Keilah are being constantly attacked by the Philistines. The Philistines giving them hard time, attacking them, stealing, looting, doing harm to the people of this city. Now, the people of Keilah, they are part of the general population of the Israelites. David feels, I'm calling him David because at that time he's not a king yet. He's always a king. So he feels that maybe he's supposed to help these people. He has only this small group of people. Remember, from 400 to 600, depends what time we are talking about. So it's not a strong military force. Nevertheless, he asks the Creator, should I wage a war, a battle against this nation, the Philistines, that constantly bothering the people of Keilah? And God says yes. Now the people that are with David, they are saying, David, you forget that King Saul is after us. He's mainly after you. He wants to kill you. And of course he will kill us also because we are part of your group. So we are not sure it's a good idea. David rethink the whole thing, and he asked Eviatar. Eviatar is a priest, a very elevated soul, Kohen, a priest that lived at the same time. Fascinating story about himself. We will go back to Eviatar, a Kohen. Eviatar the priest later on, but David still he asked Eviatar. Eviatar had the ephod, this breastplate, cosmic computer oracle that was connected to the Creator all the time. So David says, let's ask God again, this time with Eviatar and his spiritual technology. And the second time, or even the third time, God is saying to David, yes, go and wage a war, a battle against the Philistines. Those Philistines that bothering the people of Keilah. So there is the war is really going on. and David is going to save the people of Keilah. As he's fighting the Philistines, try to help the people of Keilah, David also know that someone will give him up. Obviously, Saul has all this like reconnaissance units, and is trying to find when David is. David is aware of the whole situation, the entire situation, and now he says, I know that I did help those people, this little town, city, but I'm sure that some of them went to Saul and basically snitched on me, which is exactly what happened. David turns to the Creator, asks him again, are those people that I just saved their lives, the people of Keilah, are they going to turn me over, snitch on me again? God says yes, and as I mentioned, it's exactly what happened. So we have a story of betrayal again. He helps the people. He saves them from the Philistines. Nevertheless, again, they give him up to Saul. Saul is very happy because he figures out that now as David is within this city of Keilah, it's a city that is surrounded by walls, well protected. But again, they gave him over, or they want to give him over to Saul, and therefore David needs to go, he's a man on the run again. He has to take his group and just move on. He gets to a different place. Okay, the details there there are many details. I'm skipping many of them, but you can see how the line of the story develops. He gets to another kind of wilderness, desert kind of place, Midbar Ziph, the wilderness or the Midbar of Ziph, and he knows again that probably these people, even that he's trying to help them, like the people of Keilah, the same people of Ziph. Ziph, funny name. You know that probably one of them or few of them will try to hand him over to Saul. And that's exactly what happens. The people of Ziph, they go to Saul, King Saul, and they're saying, Saul, David is hiding in our place, in our city, in our location. And Saul, that all along is just basically celebrating, quote unquote, this big self-pity party. Yes, he feels that he is the victim. He basically hunting down David, but he feels that actually he is the victim here. So what does he say to the people of Ziph? Thank you for trying to save my life and have mercy and pity on me. Thank you, thank you. You're helping me to catch and kill David, so thank you very much for that. Anyway, the story continues. Saul asked the people of Ziph, can you basically give me a more specific information in which cave or behind which hill or little mountain can I exactly find David? Give me a specific information. And the story continues. Eventually, Saul, I'm talking about thousands of people with him, they create this kind of a siege, okay, around this mountain, and David is running to the left side, they're chasing him, he's going to the right, and then what's happening? Saul gets a rumor, King Saul, that the Philistines attacking again. So he says, listen, right now I have to stop my situation with David because I have to protect my own capital, right? So we'll stop for now. So we have like a little pause there, yes, in the situation with David. And David moved from that city, it's the third one, yes, in our episode today, from Keilah to Ziph. Now for Ziph is going to Mitzadot and Gedi. And Gedi is a small area next to the Dead Sea. You know what they call the lower location or place in the world, the Dead Sea. Saul finishes business with the Philistines and now is with 3,000 people. 3,000 people chasing again King David. And they are getting the chase, the pursuit is continuing. And King David, with a small group of people, is hiding in a cave. Now listen, this is the most important thing here. Okay? We can see a story of David helps people, fights for people, and eventually they betray him. They try to give him up to Saul. And still he has this unconditional love to his own people, to his own brothers. That's real humility. That's real humility. People try to hurt you, and you don't take yourself so heavy, so seriously. Spiritually talking, you light on your feet, right? No self-importance, and it's like really inspiring. This is the people that try to help the person that tries to kill you, and still you help them. Even they betray you time and again. But now it's the real kind of point of the episode of today. David, with a small group of his people, they're hiding in a cave. It's a deep cave, maybe not that big, but deep. So he's hiding there, and Saul, he has this like 3,000 people with him, but he's gone with his, little group of bodyguards because, Saul needs to go. He has to go. Well, if you have to go, you have to go, right? Guess what, my friends? He's going to the exact cave to do what he has to do, to the exact cave where David and some of his people are hiding. Now it's a big drama. David and his friends, they are noticing that Saul is coming in. As they're noticing, they're retreating into the cave. It's a deep cave, I told you. They're retreating into the cave, and David's friends, they are telling him, that's your chance. Your opponent, your enemy, the one that tried to kill you time and again. That's it. He's by himself, pretty much vulnerable. You understand why? And you can just finish the whole thing. You just kill him, and that's it. וישסע דוד את אנשיו בדברים. And David is saying to his people, yes, remember the retreat into the cave, they're whispering to each other. His people, David's people, made the suggestion that we just mentioned, and he says, I don't want to hear anything like that. I will never hurt Saul. I know he's trying to kill me many times. 3,000 people right now chasing me, and he's leading them, yes, in this pursuit. I have had the possibility, the chance actually, the opportunity to kill him. But Vaishasa is like almost harshly, whispering but harshly. I said, don't even think this way, David says. I'm never going to hurt Saul. And that's then what is he doing? He kind of sneaking on Saul with his knife or a dagger or whatever he was holding. He cuts a piece from Saul's jacket or coat, whatever he had on him. He cuts a piece and he holds it. But he's sneaking, he's doing it very quietly. King David was a great warrior. He could do things very quiet. So he sneaks, he cuts a piece of the jacket, the shirt, the coat of Saul, and he retreats back. Saul, stepping out of the cave, doesn't have a clue that David just took a piece of his coat. He didn't feel anything, and he's stepping out of the cave. He steps few, 20, 30, 40 feet, what have you, 100 feet. David comes to the front of the gate, to the entrance, and he says, Saul, Saul, I'm here. Saul turns around. David, this is the guy that I feel, at least, that's what Saul is thinking. I feel at least this is my enemy. He wants to take the kingdom. He wants to be the king. I have to kill him. And, for so long I'm trying to even find where he is, And now he's calling me, yelling at me from the entrance of the cave. So Saul, of course, is amazed. You can only imagine. He's astonished. It's like, wow, this is David. And David tells him, Saul, I had the chance to kill you right now. Here, David holds a piece of Saul's jacket, coat. Here I have it. I'm holding it in my hands. It's a proof, yes? I could have just killed you, stab you, finish you. But I don't want to do it because I'm not your enemy. The great humility. I mean, this story is so inspiring for me. I hope also for you. It tries to kill you, and you can eliminate the danger. And David says, I'm not going to hurt you. For years, months, you try to get me. I'm not going to hurt you. Here, your jacket, a piece of it, of your coat, is in my hand. So of course, Saul is so puzzled now. He doesn't know even what to do with himself. You know. I mean, it's kind of a giant's collision. Yes, David is in this like absolute humility, being humble place. At the same time, he has all the power. I mean, Saul is really few feet away from him. He can still jump on Saul with the small group of bodyguards that he had and just overpower and overcome Saul and the small group that is with Saul, because the thousands of people, they're like scattered all around, yes, on the mountains. That was his chance. But this is absolute humility, absolutely being humble by David. Saul, of course, realized that what I'm doing. I mean, that's a session by itself. Yes, what kind of feelings, emotions Saul was, you know, feeling right now. It's literally crazy. So Saul's start is almost like on the verge of a nervous breakdown right now. Yes, he spends years with thousands of people trying to kill King David, and now David proved to him that he's not his enemy. So he burst out with crying, and he says to David, "Is that your voice that I hear now, my son David?" Very emotional. David is not his son, but that's how Saul calls now David. Is that your voice? This is already in Samuel 8, chapter 24, verse 17. "Akolcha ze bni David, is that your voice, my son David? Vayisa Shaul kolo vayev." And Saul cannot stop the tears and is crying like never before. And then he says, and we'll stop here, okay, he says to David, "You are between us two, you are the righteous and I'm the evil. You are the good, I'm the negative. You always did good by me, and I try to repay by harming you, trying to kill you." I hope that the story will inspire you to go and read it actually directly from the source. I skip many of the details, but the main story I share with you. In my eyes, it's the absolute humility, that spiritual concept of being humble, and many more things, of course. And remember that humility, that being humble, is one of the biggest spiritual secrets that one can have, and the benefits are much more than we can even imagine. Not something that we can earn overnight, of course, but we can get inspired by King David at least. Thank you very much. Subscribe. I'm supposed to say it at the beginning, the bell icon, of course. And friends, if you like it, don't be shy. Give it a like so YouTube send it to more people. And I will see you in the next episode that will be very much soon. I try to do 2 episodes a week. Thank you again. Bye-bye.